I'm Macy Egeland. Disgraced Long Island Congressman George Santos is expected to be sentenced today. Our cameras will be there when that happens. Santos pleaded guilty last year to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft charges. He's facing 2 to more than 7 years in prison. Accused United Healthcare CEO shooter Luigi Mangione is expected to be arraigned on a federal indictment in Manhattan today. He's charged with gunning down Brian Thompson outside of a Midtown hotel in December. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty if he's convicted. This Bronx woman, Clary Alady Zabala, is accused of stealing nearly $395,000 from a Glen Cove business. Police say the victim believed he was sending the money to a legitimate vendor. A major shakeup at NUMC. The Nassau County executive announced that he replaced Matthew Bruderman as board chair of the East Meadow facility. He'll appoint the county's health commissioner to that top spot. Long Islanders reflecting and remembering on National Holocaust Remembrance Day.
What a hard decision it must have been for my parents to leave everything behind and somehow believe that they would be able to start all over again somewhere else.
Great Neck's Gilda Zarinsky shared her story of surviving the Holocaust as a child at an event in Glen Cove last night. Long Islanders are being encouraged to answer the call. A statewide initiative this weekend hopes to boost the ranks of volunteer firefighters. Another Bango Bowls is coming to the island. A 6th restaurant serving health-focused, fast casual food is opening up tomorrow in Center Reach. And robots are taking over a local golf course. The refreshment delivery robots are part of a $3 million improvement plan at Harbor Links in Port Washington.
We're going to be the first fully robotic service for food service on a golf course in the entire world today.
Those are pretty neat. Officials hope that the bots help attract young players to the course. Let's talk about your Friday forecast. Maybe you have some golf plans today or this weekend. Sunny and dry today, but there are some changes on the way. Let's take a look. First, look at this gorgeous shot. Sun coming up over Cooper's Beach in Southampton. So pretty. Today, your Friday, a bit breezy. Highs in the 60s. Again, that rain rolls in overnight. Let's take a look at your futurecast. You can see that it does stick around into Saturday. We could even possibly see a thunderstorm at some point. Wind gusts in the double digits maybe. Sunday, though, we dry out. Your work week next week is looking good as well. Take a look at your 7-day with me. Monday and Wednesday could get all the way up into the 70s. We'll take it.
Long Island weather is brought to you by Fire Island Ferries.
Only in Newsday, we're looking at the costly process for disciplining teachers. Newsday investigative reporter Jim Baumbeck tells us how it works and what it means for Long Island taxpayers.
We found that the teacher disciplinary process for school districts to discipline or terminate teachers is a long process that's very costly and is rarely used. In fact, over the last 2 years, it's only been used about 17 times, and it's only led to the firing about half of those teachers. We found that text messages between teachers and students, in one case it led to the firing of a teacher, in one case it led to a teacher being suspended for the year. The cost is a significant issue for the school districts, and it's the primary reason why school districts prefer not to go this route. It can cost up to several $100,000. I found one case that cost nearly $500,000 for a school district. They ended up terminating the teacher, but it took 3 years, and $500,000, that's taxpayer money.
You can read more about this story on our website, newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
I felt that it was Endometriosis Awareness Month, so I just felt like I needed to use my voice.
When a typically private Alexis Joel shared her personal battle with endometriosis on social media, she received hundreds of messages of shared pain, support, and gratitude.
How did it feel for you sharing your story and putting yourself out there and being so vulnerable?
I loved that it just created a place where women could speak to each other about exactly what happened, and everyone's story sounded like mine.
Her story is one of pain, persistence, and being her own advocate.
I knew nothing about endometriosis. I never heard it before. And I finally, after going through doctor after doctor and multiple GYNs, I was diagnosed. And that was kind of step one. As much as I do have access, I was stuck in the same situation as everyone else. I found my doctor by Google. My doctor is a man named Tamer Sekin. I read that he did Amy Schumer's surgery, so I was able to reach out to her, and she told me he will change your life and 100% do it. And he's like my guardian angel. He's working with Cold Spring Harbor, and they are opening a building. They are dedicating it to him, and it's going to be solely for endometriosis research. So I'm really proud. And we are right in the shadow of the Billy Joel Park in Cold Spring Harbor. So it's a full circle moment.
And you can read more on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Feed Me is brought to you by PC Richard & Son.
Biscuits are back in a big way. Scott Vogel went all the way down to South Carolina for today's Feed Me TV.
Let's not mince words here. America is in the midst of a full-blown crisis when it comes to biscuit making.
This is kind of a dying art.
Why are biscuits dying? Is it keto? A national shift away from hearty breakfasts? Or could it be the biscuits themselves, which over the years have acquired an infamous and some would say undeserved reputation for being difficult to make?
I'm nervous.
Do not be nervous. I have no culinary training. Zero.
Really?
So if I can do it, you can do it.
Almost 20 years ago, Carrie Morey was a South Carolina stay-at-home mom looking for a side hustle, never imagining that her business, Callie's Hot Little Biscuit, would one day make her one of the country's leading biscuit authorities.
I would never make biscuits with unsalted butter. We use salted butter, which, by the way, we're breaking the baking rules.
She's also a cookbook author, host of her own PBS series, and, yes, an important figure in the movement to make America bake again.
We don't really care what recipe you use, we just want you to make biscuits.
She's so passionate about bringing back biscuits, she actually gives out her Callie's recipe to anyone who wants it, including Newsday, as we discovered during a visit to the kitchen of her home near Charleston.
If you've read a bazillion biscuit recipes, they all talk about how you need to freeze your butter. We are making thousands of biscuits a day, and so sometimes our butter is hard and cold, and sometimes it's room temperature or soft. My mom always used a second fat, which is cream cheese, and it's this tangy, perfect marriage with the buttermilk and the cream cheese. We don't really measure the buttermilk. So when it's super hot and humid, we may use less. When it's cold and dry, it'll soak up more. So I add a little bit as we go, and I work it in, and you don't want to overwork it. As soon as you bring it together and it's wetty, tacky, and sticky, not soupy. Right. And in fact, you would probably look at this if I wasn't here and you were following the directions, and you'd go, I think I added too much liquid. But what you're trying to do is lock in this moisture, right?
Unthinkable as it might sound, buttermilk biscuits could go the way of the Jell-O mold.
1, 2, 3.
But if so, they'll have to get past this one first.
This is like the most precious, perfect, tender down pillow dough right here. So we're not going to do anything with it other than get it into the shape that we want to cut it out. The key is to go in and go as far as you can to the side, no twisting or turning, straight down and out. We want our biscuits to touch on the pan. When you separate them, they tend to not bake at the same rate. So we believe that if you touch them on the pan, they will rise tall together and bake evenly.
So there you have it, the classic American buttermilk biscuit, a welcome addition to nearly every meal, delicious, and made from a recipe as easy as pie, even easier than pie. So why aren't you baking them again?
Oh, I love it.
Might need a biscuit for breakfast. For more Feed Me segments, go to our website, Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. In sports, the Knicks now have a 2-1 lead in their playoff series with the Pistons.
Towns tonight, though, has won it. Nice series of moves to get open and hits the J. Nice shot by Karl Anthony Towns with 29.
Now, Karl Anthony Towns was the star for the Knicks. He had 31 points and 8 rebounds in a 118-116 win in Game 3 in Detroit. Towns is the first Knicks center to score 30 points in a playoff game since Patrick Ewing. Game 4 is Sunday. Dreams will continue to come true today on day 2 of the NFL draft. Last night, the Giants selected Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter at number 3. They also traded up to take Mississippi quarterback Jackson Dart at number 25. The Jets took Missouri junior right tackle Armand Membu with the number 7 pick. It's now easier than ever to watch Newsday TV on your TV, not just your computer. We are officially streaming on Local Now. You can also find us on YouTube and all other streaming services that you see or that you use, so take advantage. I'm Macy Eglin. Thanks for watching. Happy Friday.